Alright, let's see here on Twitch where I am.
We're live.
Are we? Hang on.
Yep.
See if I can find the stream here. For myself. That one. My audio is coming through. That's good. Was your audio coming through, Marco?
Guess so. Let me just check.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Alright, that's fantastic. Alright. Just gonna sit here and just allow people to swarm up and in chat. We get ready for the start of this race. We will be a few minutes late. We did have some lobby technical issues. You know, the typical EA issues that F1 is currently facing. Yeah, that's right. Shenanigans, that's exactly what it is. Just had issues with players not properly appearing online. But we can wait here for a bit. Just allow chat to arrive. We'll get started in a few moments' time. 18, just waiting on 2 more. And then we'll get underway. But yeah, to anyone who watches this on YouTube, skip about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so maybe. And then we'll get to the start of qualifying. But as of right now, we're just chilling. We're just chilling. Quickly check Discord, see what's going on over there. Yeah, not too much going over on the Discord right now. Hopefully this won't take too much longer. Hopefully.
Just one driver missing.
Hi, cuts are right. I think it's Wogboy who isn't here yet. Yeah, we have a Mercedes missing. That would be Wogboy. Alright, we should be getting close to go. Plebs has given the ready up signal. So we should be getting underway incredibly shortly. One driver short of a full grid. The 19 is still very, very good. So hopefully we got an entertaining event in front of us. Alright.
Considering 2 of the top drivers are missing.
Correct. Yeah, a few talking points heading into this Grand Prix. We'll touch on them in a few seconds' time. Rightio. Hello everyone and welcome to round 2 of the Pacific Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your commentator for this event, and tonight we'll be racing at Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Constructed in 1991, Barcelona has been used to represent the Spanish Grand Prix every single year after its birth. In real life, it's a well-known circuit and a proven test track. However, the reputation of the circuit is quite poor due to the rather dull and boring races this circuit tends to produce. Fortunately for us folks here in the virtual world, the circuit tends to be much more exciting. The layout measures up at 4.67 kilometers and consists of 16 corners and 2 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 1 and the newly redesigned Turn 10. There are other potential overtaking spots such as Turn 4 and 5, but for the most part overtaking will be limited to the 2. My headset briefly disconnected there. Oops. But there are other potential overtaking spots, but for the most part, overtaking will be limited to the 2 DRS zones. Outside of those areas, the drivers will have to deal with some pretty nasty tripping hazards across the circuit. The main of which being the left-hander of turn 2 and its nasty inside curb, the incredibly fast right-hander of turn 9, and the tight, cumbersome chicane of turns 14 and 15. With it being a relatively short racetrack, qualifying should be once again quite competitive. But before we focus on qualifying, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Brazil. Only a single incident report, which involves G-Force Leo, our race winner, and Ryan Bell. It was a collision between the two of them, and the stewards have deemed Ryan Bell at fault, and he was given a 5-second time penalty and 1 penalty point, which would demote him from P4 to P5 in the final results. In the Drivers' Championship, our race winner, G-Force Leo from Brazil, is leading the way on 30 points, followed by Seb, who is now a full-timer over at Red Bull Racing. He did represent Haas in that race at Brazil, but he's being tallied up as a Red Bull driver, and the points that he scored in that Haas at Brazil have actually been included within Red Bull's constructors' points. I'll touch on that a little bit later. Third in the championship is F1 Ferrari Pro on 20 points, followed by Big Al on 17, then Ryan Bell on 16. Next is G-Force Ford on 13, who is absent for today's race. Plebs P7 on 11 points, followed by Darren 11 on 9. Vision in the Williams on 7, and rounding out the top 10 is Wogboy, who is also absent from today's race. He's on 6 points. Now in the constructors, Red Bull Racing are on 53 points, and that's because of Leo scoring 30 and Seb scoring 23, even though he scored those points in a Haas. So yeah, it's a bit weird how that's all worked itself out, but it is what it is for the moment. Second in the standings is Ferrari on 33, followed by AlphaTauri on 18, Alfa Romeo on 17, Alpine on 16, followed by Williams on 11, then Aston Martin on 10, Mercedes on 6, followed by McLaren on 3, and Haas yet to score at the bottom of the table. But that's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now focus on qualifying, and I can introduce my co-commentator for tonight, who is G-Force Pato. Pato, mate, it's nice to have you back after last season. You're looking forward to this Grand Prix here in Spain?
Yeah, of course. Looking forward to be here and commentating with you. First of all, it's always a pleasure to be here. But yeah, Spain is a really tricky and technical track, so it's not going to be easy for the drivers, that's for sure, because the car really loves to snap out of a lot of corners on this track, to be honest. And yeah, we've had a really good first race with a new winner, which is Leo. Last season he couldn't be that consistent, but it was a really good start from him.
Yeah.
And of course, G-Force Crichton is back today. Unfortunately, Ford won't be there. Oh, it was fun. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see what these drivers can deliver for it. It's a good show.
Oh, and that's a reset. Was that Luke? Yeah, it was. That was a reset back onto the racing line. Now, I don't know if he did that through the menu or the game put him back there, but that could have been a really big accident. If Seb goes to the top with a 16.9, that was really, really close to being an accident. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the game resetting him to track. It's something we see a lot at racetracks like Interlagos, for example. When a driver goes too far deep into the infield, the game resets them to track, as Ecamm has a moment at turn 9. But yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, I must say, as Plebs jumps up to P2 with a 17.1. Yeah, I'm guessing as well, Marco, your comments about this circuit, they've sort of been reaffirmed after the Elite Series race that you had, though you had a pretty tidy race, if I recall correctly.
Well, yeah, we just made the wrong call in a late safety car, me and Plebs. Ended up P5 and P6, but yeah, it was a really clean race from my side. Like, I can't complain too much. Fortunately, circumstances were not on our side, but that's racing, that's part of it in the end, so yeah.
Now, Mr. Crichton here goes to the top. Alrighto. Now, Crichton, I believe, has won every single Spanish Grand Prix since Season 2 here in Pacific Tier 1. He's going to be looking to continue that tonight, Marco, I'm sure. And he's currently on the right foot with a 16.7 at the top of the table.
The one thing I wanted to add is that we really need to check on this track the speed traps of the guys, because of course having more downforce helps you in qualifying, that's for sure, because there's just 2 straights and a lot of corners on this track. But in the end, in the race, if you have more downforce than the others, if you don't break the DRS range, then you're gonna be really vulnerable in the DRS zones. I mean, not the back straight one, but in the main straight, of course. Like, guys will surely catch you up and attack you if needed. So we'll see.
Big Al jumps up to P2 with a 16.8. He's just off Crichton's time. But no, that's an excellent point to make, Pato, because I completely agree. If you have a ton of downforce, you're going to have obviously better pace during qualifying. Because generally speaking, when you have more downforce, you can extract more lap time. But when you're stuck with that same level of downforce in the race, unless you're at the front pulling away from everybody else, having all that extra downforce is a real disadvantage on the straights. It makes you incredibly vulnerable into turn 1. And I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of the drivers in here opted for lower wings for the sake of the race, so they can try and make moves into turn 1 and into turn 10. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye out on it as well. I kept an eye on it in the Elite Series race with a few drivers heading into turn 1. It was interesting to note the speed differences between a couple of drivers. But usually I think the speed trap was about 315 kilometers an hour, somewhere around there. So, yeah, we'll see how everyone else does, in terms of speed traps at least, as Kong here makes his way out of the penultimate corner and around the final turn, back onto the main straightaway. He'll set a 17.170, that is P8. Now get this, he is 4/10 off pole position, 4/10, and he's down in P8. It's pretty tight. We got 3 drivers in the 17.1s as well. So yeah, very tight at the moment, as you'd expect here at Barcelona.
Yeah, and consider Spicy and Ferrari Pro have set the exact same time.
Luke has jumped up to P3, 1 minute 16.908. Well done, Luke. That's a very tidy lap indeed. Just a 10th off Big Al, who's currently P2, and Crichton makes his way out of the pits on an out lap. He's getting himself ready. Jinbin makes his way out of the notorious turn 9. Probably the most demanding corner on the circuit. It's uphill, very fast, you're right on the edge of grip, and if you make even the slightest misjudgment through there, you lose control of the car, and there's a very high chance you'll end up hitting a barrier through there. I've seen it so many times in all sorts of video games there at turn 9. Definitely the most notorious part. ACW is saying that Zach will do a 16.2. Marco? 16.2.
Wow. That's a bold one.
Half a second, that's a lot of time to find. But I'll be keen to see what Crichton can do. As I mentioned earlier, he's got a very established record here at Barcelona. He's won every single race here since Season 2, as Wogs Boys joined, so that's fantastic. So we should have a full grid for this Spanish Grand Prix. Tell you what, we're going to ride on board with the 5-time Pacific Tier 1 champion. We're going to give you a tour of this 4.6 kilometer 16-turn racetrack. DRS open for Crichton as he crosses the finish line to begin his flying lap. Down the hill towards turn 1. What kind of peak speed will we see here from Crichton? 311 kilometers an hour as his G-Force compatriot Leo jumps up to pole position with a 7.24. Around turn 3 goes Crichton up towards turn 4. Nice and narrow on the exit. Crichton's up by 17 thousandths to the first sector. Nice and tidy out of turn 4 towards the hairpin of turn 5. Hard on the brakes at the 50 board. chucks it in third gear, gets on the accelerator tidily as he makes his way around turn 6 into turn 7 and 8, down to 5th gear, back on the accelerator, riding very close to that yellow circle curb on the inside as he heads around turn 9. Very committed around there, flat out all the way as he heads towards turn 10. Hard on the brakes, brings it down to 4th gear, hits the apex, absolutely spot on, around turn 11 into turn 12. 4th gear, back on the accelerator, nice and steady, then he reaches full throttle into turn 13. 4th gear, back on the accelerator again as he goes through the chicane, turns 14 and 15. Nice and tidy on the exit, no wheel spin, no oversteer. Out of the final corner, DRS open, towards the line, it's a 16.485. He improves by just under 0.3 of a second.
Looks like he hasn't lost his talent, isn't he?
Nope. But I just noticed Big Al's speed trap at the end of the main straight. He was hitting 315. That's 5 kilometers an hour faster than Crichton. So I reckon Crichton's got a full-on quality setup right now.
Yes, he is.
He wants that track position.
Exactly. And track position, I mean, I experienced it myself on Sunday. Like, track position is really important around here. And in the end, Crichton could maybe do what Smithy did on Sunday, having a really high downforce setup, starting on mediums, so you can create that gap in the first stint. All the drivers around him started on hard, and then go and try and win this race, because in the end it would be much harder for the guys with lower downforce to recover if they don't have that DRS help. Absolutely.
Now that's a brilliant point. And again, referencing back to the Elite Series race on Sunday, because that is absolutely spot on. As Ecamm jumps up to P2 in the Haas with the 16.6, what can Big Al do? Up towards the line. It's a 16.6 as well. Beats Ecamm by just over 0.5 of a second as well. Spicy up to P5 with a 16.8, just in front of Sire Luke, who hits 314 at the end of the main straight. So similar speed to Big Al.
Seb improves.
Yes, he does. 16.654. We've got 3 cars in the 6s at the top of the board. And Leo isn't too far away from the 6s. What can Luke do? He's up to the first sector. Up towards the hairpin of turn 5. Oh. What the? What's happening here, Marco? What's Luke doing?
I don't know. I really don't know. I was watching Kong finishing his lap, and he's improving by 2 times as well. P8 for him.
Yep.
What happened to Luke?
Don't know. He went straight on at turn 5 for no real reason, and I think he's still out there. Oh, he's going slow. He must have some sort of technical issue. He has to. Well, he's going again. His inputs look okay. Car looks okay. Maybe he had
looks quite dirty.
A wheel disconnect, maybe? Maybe his wheel disconnected. And he did.
Or maybe just the pedals.
Well, yeah, maybe. But he had constant brake input. I noticed that on the telemetry. His braking input didn't change. So, yeah, I don't know. That is very... Oh, my word, Con, what are you doing? That's the old layout at Barcelona. You don't go there, mate. Oh, my word. Scared the devil out of me. Oh, that's the second time Kong has done that. By the way, Kong is Silderford for older Race Spec members. That's Silderford right there.
P4.
Yeah, nice lap from him. 16.6 again. Got a whole heap of cars in the 6s. Max Jr. here. New reserve driver, if I'm not mistaken, is heading towards the middle sector split. Clock says for him, he's up by 55 thousandths of a second. So with that sort of improvement, he can gain a place. But I'm sure he would like to find a little bit of time here in the final sector as he makes his way towards turn 13. Down through the gearbox, short shifting back up to 4th as he heads through the chicane. 2nd gear, not clobbering the curbs at all, keeping it nice and tidy through there. It's very sensible driving right there. DRS open up towards the line. It's a 17.3. He actually lost time in the final sector. So it wasn't as good as it could have been. But with just over 3 minutes left, we're getting ready for the final stages in qualifying. Hello, GeForce Crichton as well. It's nice to see you in the chat too. Oh, and he's making his way out of the pits. Well, ACW is flexing. His elite pole time was half a tenth faster than GeForce Zach. Well, you might have just given him a little bit of incentive, ACW. I don't know. But I reckon you might have given him some incentive to find a bit of time.
Yeah, we all know Crichton has got that fearless mentality, so yeah.
Yep.
It's never a good idea to trash talk with him.
Yeah, he's got that win it or bin it.
Yep.
So I'm asking a point too. Yeah, that's fair enough. You did say he could do a 16-2. We'll see if he can pull that off. But first, we'll see how everyone else is faring. Jinbin down towards turn 1. See a bit of traffic making their way out of the pits, but Jinbin should have a clear lap. A bit of a moment though through turn 2. And it seems that the Williams driver has backed off. They decided, you know what, it's not worth continuing to push. I'll just cool the tyres down and have another go later on. His teammate, Vision, out to the final corner and down the main straightaway, begins their final flying lap attempt. They're currently P14 as Mesh Jr. retires in the pits. He is currently P16 with a 17.2. He is 8 tenths off pole position and he's P16. Around turn 3 goes Vision. Absolutely flat out through this right-hander. A bit of a wiggle there, though, from Vision, but he keeps it stable. Clock says to the first sector he's up by half a tenth. Now towards the top of the board. Spicy getting ready. All these other drivers getting ready as well. GeForce Crichton making his way out to the final corner and down the main straightaway to begin his final flying lap attempt with 1 minute and 15 seconds left on the clock. Down towards turn 1. 311 kilometers an hour into 1. 5th gear. Modulating the throttle well. The car looks stable as he heads around turn 3, hugging that inside line all the way round. Clock says to the first sector, he is up by 21 thousandths of a second. Big Al, he's getting himself ready. He heads around the final corner and towards turn 1 he'll shoot. Opens DRS, crosses a line, begin his final flying lap attempt. Crichton, meanwhile, through turn 7 and 8, getting it absolutely spot on as he heads up the hill and around turn 9, hovering at about 90% throttle as he hit the apex through the right-hander. Clock says to the middle sector, he's up still by 32 thousandths of a second. 1 sector remains for Crichton. He heads around turn 12 towards turn 13, reaches full throttle, brings it back down to 4th gear, back on the accelerator, down the hill and through the chicane. Does he short shift? Yes, he does. Short shifts to 3rd, 4th gear, 5th gear. Ecan's retired out of the session. He's crashed out of turn 13. Crichton crosses the line and does a 16.355 to reaffirm his spot at the top. Can anyone challenge that? Big Al to the middle sector. He's up by just under a tenth. Spicy's P3. He's improved by 2 tenths. Big Al. Sorry, it's Darren 11. Where have you come from? 16.5 from the Aston Martin driver. Big Al heading down the hill towards the chicane. 3 corners to go for the Alfa Romeo driver. Nice tidy exit there. He heads around the final corner up towards the line for Al. He does a 16.529. He beats Darren by 200ths of a second. Seb, meanwhile, he's still up to the middle sector. He's up by 42 thousandths as he heads around the final corner. Down the main straight, up towards the line. It's a 16.549. He set the exact same lap as Darren 11 to the 1000th. What about Gez? No, his run's done. Oh, how disappointing. His qualifying looked quite solid throughout that session. It's quite solid all round for McLaren. P5 and P6. Not bad at all. And I think folks, that's the end of qualifying. And what a session. My goodness, 3 cars in the 5s, 4 cars in the 6s. If you want, you can include Ferrari Pro. He's in the 7s, but only just. Insane competition here at Barcelona.
Insanely close. The whole field is bunched up from first to last. It's 1 second and 1,000. Oh my goodness.
The entire field is separated by 1.001 seconds. Ha!
Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun.
Oh, there we are, the end of qualifying. Crichton put together one hell of a lap. 1 minute 16.355 means that he'll start from pole position for this Spanish Grand Prix. Big Al will start alongside him on the front row in P2, followed by Darren 11. A last minute gasp means he'll start P3. Where did he come from? Seb's next in P4, followed by Spicy and Gez. The two McLarens will complete the third row, followed by Ecam, Leo, Ferrari Pro, Bate, Plevs, Luke, Kong, Bags Liddell, Jinbin, Highcut, Vision, Mac, Mash Jr. and Wogboy, who joined late, is only a second off pole. Oh, same troubles Ferrari Pro. Yeah, well, that's something that Marco pointed out during our little intro was how little grip you have around this circuit. The car, with this F122 car around this circuit, it is really, really twitchy. So yeah, it's not a surprise that you have to deal with the same problems here in Tier 1. Not at all. And it looks clear too. So we're going to have a dry start. That's good.
Maybe it's going to rain like in round 1. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. Because yeah, the weather changed everything last week at Interlagos. Needed the pit at the right time, which is exactly what GeForce Leo did. Pitted at exactly the right time, made his mediums last 25 laps or something like that. Box onto the inters, and he was set to win the race. He had a lot of pressure from Seb, but he hung on. If we have the same race here tonight, I won't be complaining as a commentator. The drivers might be, though. This track is hard enough to drive in the dry, let alone in the wet. So,
yeah, that's true.
Well, see what it's like. First, the formation lap. So who's starting on what? Okay, it's a fairly convincing story. Top 5, we have Crichton, Al, Darren 11, Seb, and Spicy. They're all starting on the hard compound tyre. Gares from P6 is the first driver to start on the mediums. Next is Ecam in P7. He's starting on the hard tyres, and for some reason he's overtaken everyone on the formation lap. Next is GeForce Leo in P8. He's starting on the hard tyres as well. Ferrari Pro starting on the mediums. Bate in P10 is starting on the mediums too. Plebs P11 starting on the hard tyre. Luke is next in P12 on the mediums. Then every other driver, Kong, Bags, Jinbin, Highcut, Vision, Mac, Mash, and Wogboy are all starting on the hard compound tyre. Hello, KD. Nice to see you in the chat as well. Now, you've had a bit of race experience here, Marco. Would you start on the hard tyre for this?
Well, on this game, it's always better to start on the hards because the warm-up on the mediums, when you pit, it's going to be much easier than it is for the hards.
Yeah.
We'll see, because now Crichton, like with the higher downforce, he needs to be very careful not to get an undercut from Big Al and all the guys behind. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for him to overtake from there. It's going to be a fun race because this track in general is a really, I mean, if you have pace, you usually win the race, but of course you need to overtake people, so you need to find the right balance, and let's see what comes out.
Alrighty. Leaders are making their way back onto the main straightaway, heading down towards their respective grid slots. Crichton will be starting on the racing line, heading towards turn 1. Thank you very much, Jacob. Nice comment. And hopefully no one bins it down into turn 1, although someone spun on the grid. I think that might have been Leo spinning. Yes, it was not Leo spinning. It was actually Seb, his teammate, spinning. So yes, Crichton starting on the racing line. He's got the cleaner side of the racetrack, so he should theoretically get a better start. But if he doesn't, Big Al has the inside line towards turn 1. Tell you what, we might ride on board. Who will we ride on board with? Maybe Seb. Seb would be a good one because we don't get good outboard shots for the start of this Grand Prix. So we got to ride on board. We got 10 red lights and we're underway here in Barcelona. It's a great start from Big Al, who's challenging. What a start from Gers! He slingshots through into third. Oh, it's the same from Elite. Oh, and he's just teleported back to the racing line. Ew. Through turn 1, into turn 2. Running wide goes Darren 11. He drops a place as we head around turn 3. G-Force Leo up a place. Ferrari Pro trying to fight on the medium tyre. He's run wide onto the runoff area, but he rejoins safely as they continue their battle through turn 4 as Max left the session. Hopefully he can rejoin as soon as possible. Down towards turn 1. Turn 5 actually. Oh, yellow. It's Bags Liddell spinning out at turn 5. And he's put it into the wall too. Damage. Oh, and Jinbin's had an incident at turn 5 too. He's down now in 19th position. But it's Big Al who leads. Crichton in second, followed by Gers in third. Another ridiculous start from the McLaren driver. Oh, and look at him. Down the inside at turn 10. He gets in front into P2.
Wow, yeah. What a start. That's why I told you, the mediums on the first 2 or 3 laps are just OP. My goodness, what a start. What a start.
And Farmer Sam, you're absolutely spot on. Gers is on controller, and I'm on controller too, so I know how good those starts can be. And he's got a mega one once again. Can he capitalise? Maybe try and take the lead away from Al on that medium compound tyre. G-Force Crichton right behind him, following in the slipstream towards turn 1. Here comes the midfield pack as Ferrari Pro has a go on Ecam down the inside. The 2 Alpines are scrapping for position 2, it seems. Luke winning the battle. He's in P10 in front of his teammate Plebs in P11. Down towards turn 4. Darren 11 right behind Seb. Not close enough though to attack into the right-hand sweeper. Stays behind, 4/10 behind to be exact. Speaking of 4/10, that's the gap between Al and Gers right now as they head down the hill around turn 6 towards turn 7 and 8. Gers has got a mega start going. He would like to continue this momentum as he heads through turn 9. 3/10 behind, 2.5 behind. Can he close in?
He made a mistake on the last chicane before. Otherwise the gap would have been much smaller. Let's see if he nails the first sector. Maybe he's got a shot.
Let's see here. He needs to nail the chicane and the final corner. If he wants to attack Al down the main straight, a bit of a missed apex there at 14. Oh, and a big slide. Huge slide. Great catch though.
Yeah.
But
this is what it's what he doesn't need to do, otherwise he will have no chance. So
yep, he needs to take advantage of what he's got right now. Ferrari Pro overtaking Spicy. He's taking advantage of what he's got right now. He's into P6, and I think Luke's putting Ecam here under a bit of pressure. 3/10 separating these two as they head towards turn 4. Luke not close enough to try and attack. He has to stay behind for now. Speaking of behind, Bait putting Plebs under a fair bit of pressure. Exiting 4, down the hill and around turn 5. They're not close enough to attack just yet. This train of cars, it's very tight. Very little margin for error. If any one of these drivers make a mistake, it'll be race over for sure. Gers closing in with DRS, not by enough though to attack. But he keeps the battle alive out in front. Around turn 12. The right-hand sweeper. Towards turn 13. Now Gers, you need a tidier run through here, mate. Third gear. Hits the apex well. Hits the second one pretty spot on, but doesn't get the same level of drive that Big Al gets out of that chicane. Big Al's got so much confidence on the throttle. Exiting turn 15 as Ferrari Pro sets a new fastest lap. 1 minute 20.617. Into turn 1 we go. Through the chicane. And around turn 3, Ecam attacking Spicy. Luke's involved. He's down the inside at turn 2. Muscles Ecam wide. He's through into P8. His next target will be Spicy as they head down the short chute towards turn 4. Luke not close enough yet to try and attack the McLaren driver. But Ecam, I think Ecam's not quite done yet either. Muscled out wide by Luke. It's not a nice feeling. I know that all too well. And he's keeping the pressure up as Bags Liddell sets a new fastest lap. 1 minute 20.224. Demonstrating what clear air and fresh tyres can do. He's 4/10 quicker than anybody on that lap.
Yeah. And Bate is also overtaking place for P11 at the same time.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Now, around turn 10, heading towards turn 11. Luke not close enough here to really do anything. All he can do is get a nice tidy run through this section, try and attack on the next lap. Similar story here with Gez, but you can see that traction. The Alpha gets out of 15. He just drives away from Gez like it's nothing. And even with DRS assistance...
He's going for it, he's going for it.
Alright, Gez, let's see what you can do. Looks to the inside but can't commit. And now just take the apex as he regularly does. Luke moves into P7. So he's finally gotten by Spicy, and now he has to catch up to F1 Ferrari Pro. Not easy to do. He is 2.7 seconds behind, so he's got a fair chunk of time to try and recover. Leo right on the back of Ecam, heading around turn 4 towards turn 5. Looks to the inside, but can't fully commit to the move. He must stay behind. Meanwhile, Gez closes in through this middle sector. Well, the medium tyres are obviously better. Around turn 9, he loses ground. That's thanks to the dirty air he has to put up with. And he's not close enough to attack here into 10. But he's applying a ton of pressure. Big Al, though, is driving well out in front as they head around turn 12 towards turn 13. Now...
And watch out, because Crichton usually uses a lot of battery in the first few laps, but this time he's got 50% more compared to Big Al and Gez.
Yeah.
So this could really help him out, and maybe Gez will go for it now.
Well, he's low on battery, but he's got speed.
Yep.
Here we go, to the inside. He looks into turn 1. Big Al fights it though round the outside. Covers the inside line at turn 2.
Switchback.
Can he get underneath Big Al? I don't think Gez can. Will he have a look down the inside here at turn 4? He's got the battery switched on. Looks to the inside, but can't dive bomb it in. Big Al's just too quick heading into turn 4. What about here at the hairpin, maybe? He looks to the inside, but again can't commit. Big Al covers well. Down the hill towards turn 6. You can't pass here at 7, sir. You have to stay behind. Around turn 8, up the hill towards turn 9. 0.2 of a second separating these two. Bit of understeer there from Gez. It costs him a little bit of time, not too much, but a little bit. Towards turn 10. Again, not close enough to attack here. There is Crichton in P3, hovering behind. And yeah, Gez, 11% battery. Big Al 22. Crichton 72. Yeah, 50% difference. That's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a really big one. And the pace of the race, they're really close, oh my goodness.
Yep.
Well, I think he's got it. I think he will get him.
Alright.
2/10 away, it should be, yeah.
He doesn't quite have the battery like to really send it here, but he's drawing alongside. Does it indeed. Big Al lets him through. Al can't fight that. Gez takes the lead as he heads around turn 3.
Crichton wants to go for it, I think.
He's got the battery switched on. Doesn't send it yet. It's lap 7 of 33. There's still a fair chunk of racing that needs to take place yet. So he's not going all out, guns blazing just yet. He can afford to just lay back a little. Wait for a more ideal moment to strike. As we head up the hill towards turn 9. What about everyone else in the field? I'm looking at the gaps. No one's really close enough to try and battle just yet. So we'll keep our eyes at the front. Into turn 10. Third gear. 50% throttle, 60. And then eventually reaching full throttle. You have to wait a really, really long time through turn 10.
It's at the moment.
Ooh.
He's lost 2/10. Was about to break DRS, but now it won't.
Yeah, Big Al won't mind some DRS. It will definitely keep Crichton at bay. But then again, Crichton's got a ton of battery to spare. He's used a fair chunk of it, about 10% down that straight, using a little bit more. But yeah, he doesn't quite have the straight line speed, does he? It's almost as if he's got a qualifying setup on. Funny that. So yeah, doesn't quite have the same straight line speed as Big Al. So even though he's got a ton of battery, he's not gaining a huge amount of advantage out of it, as Wogboy has a moment. He drops down to P18. He lost 2 places there. So he's now on the back of that small train. Gez trying to break away, and he's successfully doing so. The gap has increased to 0.8 of a second between him and Big Al.
It's really close to break that DRS range, and I think that will help Crichton as well, of course, because if Big Al doesn't have DRS, then he's got a shot.
Absolutely. Yeah, with both cars having DRS, and with a straight line disadvantage we pointed out during qualifying, Crichton needs all the help he can get. So he needs Big Al to not have DRS, and it looks like he's not going to have it here. Oh, look at Crichton. He's all over the gearbox of the Alfa Romeo. We're heading around the final corner, back onto the main straight. Does Al have DRS? No, is the answer, I'm afraid. Crichton, can he attack?
Yeah, Al has got DRS.
Has he?
Yeah. He's gained 3 times on gas and gears. So,
he didn't have DRS for me. His flap was shut.
I saw his wing open, so yeah, maybe, yeah.
For me, it was shut. It was squared shut. So, nice. Interesting. Interesting.
EA.
I guess so.
Crichton on the inside.
Oh! An audacious maneuver.
Well, yeah. Well, not, yeah. Nice move.
Send it down the inside, and yeah, he muscled his way through. There was definitely contact between the two drivers there at turn 5. Crichton's not playing around. We'll see if Big Al can return serve as we head into turn 10. He's not close enough to attack here, but maybe, just maybe, might be able to retake the position down the main straight. Crichton, though, is trying to pull away. He's got half a second on Big Al already as he heads towards turn 13.
Yeah, he's gaining a lot.
Darren!
Really a lot. Oh, Darren.
Spinning out, that is at the exit of 12, entering turn 13. All ghosting switched off in a pretty terrible spot. Gez sets a new fastest lap, which is beaten by Crichton. Crichton is well and truly hustling along. Now Darren has got some recovering to do. First driver on his list will be Vision in the Williams. He's going to take him with ease down the main straight. And it seems that Highcut's going to get involved as well. He'll pass the Williams of Vision and move into P13 as we head into turn 1. Division now down to 14th position.
Yeah, and Crichton has set the fastest lap even if he had to make that move in turn 5.
Vision!
So,
spinning at turn 3, he now drops to 18th position. So it's gone from bad to worse for the Williams driver. He's got a lot of catching up to do. In fact, so much so, he realistically needs a safety car in order to get back into this. Leo, passing Spicy, looked at the wrong person there. So Leo moving through into 8th place, overtaking Spicy, who's now down to 8th position. Ecam in 9th, hovering behind, Bait behind as well, on the medium tyre that have probably seen better days after 9 laps or so. I imagine the pace is starting to even out a little bit. So, although with Gez, it looks like he's got a margin over Crichton, 1.5 seconds right now. Oh, Al closes in by a lot into turn 1. That's how much extra straight line speed Al has, relative to Crichton. It's a night and day difference in terms of straight line performance. But it's here through the corners where Crichton's setup is superior. He's got so much more grip through here, thanks to the extra downfalls.
Yeah, the aim of Crichton is in the end to gain and be at least 8 tenths away from Big Al before the detection point. Because he will be quite safe. He's gaining a lot into Sector 2 and Sector 3. Look at that. He was just 1.5 tenths away, and now he's almost 8 tenths away. So maybe you can break DRS in this part of the track, because he's always gained. Yeah,
that's a fair enough comment, I think. He might be able to do that. Let's find out. 8.5 tenths is now the gap. And steadily increasing bit by bit. 9 tenths is now the gap. The DRS detection zone is after turn 15. The gap Yeah, he has.
He's done it.
He's gained 1 second over that whole lap minus the main straight. So that's how much extra corner performance he's got right now.
Ferrari, bro.
Close?
No.
Not close enough. See, this is a problem when you're stuck at the back of the DRS train. It is so difficult to move yourself forward. Because you need that DRS advantage to really try and make overtakes happen. When both cars have DRS, yeah, they're stagnant. They're not moving anywhere.
Yeah. And I'm watching the gaps between the leaders and the back of the grid. And if Gers pits now, he would be behind Mesh, but not so close to Mesh. So he will have time to put some good laps on new hards.
Alright.
Yeah, because Vision is 25 seconds away from him. That should be fine to come out in front. And Mesh is 18 seconds ahead. Yeah, behind. Sorry. So yeah, could be a wise move to pit just now or like in 2 laps time.
Just a note as well, I'd like to bring up lap data. Have a look at this. So Gers, when he crosses the line, what's the time? It's a 20.348, 20.546. So Gers on that medium tyre, 12 laps old, they're still pretty good. So he's making full use of those tyres. Yellows are out. Is it MASH, I believe? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yikes. Little mistake, and it's cost him time. He's now 3.2 seconds behind Wogboy in P15. Got a bit of catching up to do. And again, yes, okay?
Yeah, sorry. Considering Mesh has made a mistake, he's 22 seconds away, so he will just, Gers would come out behind him, but Mesh wouldn't have any DRS. So, yeah, this is key. This is key for him for the strategy to work. He doesn't need to get into traffic, otherwise it would be quite useful what he's done so far.
Absolutely.
Quite useless, sorry.
Absolutely. Especially after what we saw in Elite. So,
yep.
And Gers is still pulling away. The gap's now 1.9. Last time I checked it was about 1.6, 1.7. So Gers has got performance on those tyres. That's also good news for everyone on the hard tyre getting ready to move on to a set of mediums. Because it means they're going to have a fair chunk of pace towards the end of this Grand Prix. The gap's shrunk actually a little bit there. Shrunk back to 1.7. So Gers, he's still got performance on those tyres, but he's not streaking away from those behind. He's just maintaining about 1.8 or so seconds to P2. Kong overtakes High Cut, that was for P13, and that must have happened into turn 1. Actually, it happened down the main straightaway looking at the minimap. So that was probably just a pass using DRS. Now, out of the hairpin. Can Crichton close in at all through this section? See. Closes in a little bit on the brakes. Or a bit wide there. He ran onto the yellow curb. Gap opens back up again to almost 1.9. Alright, middle sector for Gers. 53.6. I didn't quite catch it for Crichton. The gap's still hovering at about 1.8. Head around turn 12 up towards turn 13. Now, looking at everybody else's intervals, no one's really in any sort of position to try and battle. Everyone's close, but not close enough to battle. Alright, Gers on this lap. It's going to be a 1 minute 20.5. Crichton, 20.4. He gains a 10th. So momentum starting to swing back in Crichton's favour in terms of outright pace.
And the first medium run is in the pits, which is bait.
Oh, alright. I like it. Get on fresh tyres, try and get some clear air. Send it. You've got a license to send it now.
It's made a mistake or something because Big Al is really close to him now. Maybe it's just a small moment of turn 3. I don't know.
I think he was quite close heading down the main straight if I remember correctly. So Big Al's just keeping touch with Crichton at the moment. Hasn't put any move on the Mercedes driver just yet, but he's definitely kept touch. That's for sure. Now, where's Bate come out? He's come out in 17th position on fresh hards, 5.3 seconds behind the next car, which that gap is extending, by the way, because he's on cold tyres, so it's going to take a little while for them to heat up. But as soon as they do, he's got a license to push. Try and gain some time if he can.
Ooh.
Boxing is good. Yeah. Boxing is Crichton. This is early.
He wants to go for it. Yeah, this is early, but we know Crichton, so yeah, he just wants to be with him as close as he gets. But we'll see. And I think Gare's just, yeah, the pit entry was a bit borderline, but yeah. And sorry for snitching. Yeah. And let's see where he comes out.
Alright, there's High Carts. He'll come out in front of his teammate, it seems. So, Crichton, he has to make 18 laps on those tyres, and ACW has informed me in the chat the tyres should make it. So, tyre life shouldn't necessarily be an issue. I guess it'll all come down to tyre performance towards the end of the race. Because those who are at the top of the table right now on hard tyres, they're going to have fresher medium tyres for the final parts of this race. This is going to get very, very interesting in regards to strategy. So what does Big Al do? He's just seen the two drivers in front of him box for fresh rubber. Does he follow in? No, he stays out. Seb comes in, nice and clean, nice and tidy. Ferrari Pro's in, Luke's in. G-Force Leo stays out. Big Al sets a new fastest lap. So I wonder what he's doing. He's pushing as hard as he can, making the most of the clear air in front of him. He is sending it on those tyres. Ecam, Plebs, they're staying out. Spicy's in.
He's got DRS on gas.
Alright. So he'll be closing in. Are you sure? Again, the flap shut for me.
No, but he's got the two blue LEDs on, so yeah, he's got show with DRS.
Okay.
I'm watching the telemetry, so no worries.
It's all good. Wogboy right behind Seb here. Seb on fresh rubber. Wogboy doesn't want a bar of it. He says, mate, keep your position. I'ma follow you. Just follow you around. Try and make the most of these old tyres. Maybe pick up some DRS assistance. Try and make the most of this. Gez is going to have a whole heap of silver close in on him very, very shortly. Gap's now shrunk to under a second. And I can see that DRS flap now open on Crichton's car. Big Al stays out another lap. He is still going. What about Leo? Does he come in? Does he box? Oh, he does. Bit of a slide, but he comes in. Ecam stays out. Plev stays out for another lap. Kong comes in. What about High Cut? High Cut stays out.
Crichton 4 attempts away. Let's see if he can put out a move.
19.3 from Crichton as he closes in on Gers. Dumps the battery. Gers covers the inside. Crichton, he'll send it round the long way. It's tight at the apex, but he makes it work. He goes into 5th.
Oh my goodness, what a bold move around the outside.
It was tight too.
Watch out for Gers though. No.
Gers can't send it there. Doesn't have the tyre compound to do it. Doesn't have the momentum either to send it down the inside. He'd have to brake extraordinarily late, which probably would have resulted in a collision, more than likely. So yeah, Crichton now into 5th place. He needs to take advantage of the small amount of clear air he's got, because in front of him is High Cut on old rubber, yet to pit, 17 laps into this stint. Big Al, does he finally come in? It's lap 18 right now. He's in. The race leader has come into pit lane. He'll bolt on his set of mediums and go to the end. Ecam comes through. He's going into the pits. Pleb stays out for another lap. He is going very long on these hard tyres. High Cut comes in. He unleashes Crichton. He will get some DRS assistance thanks to High Cut. So Gers won't be closing in as much as he normally would. So now Crichton's got 6.4 seconds worth of clear air, and Big Al
it's going to be vulnerable to Seb, I think, because Seb has got much warmer tyres than him. So
6 tenths, 5.5 tenths. As we go up towards turn 4, Seb will close in even more. The gap shrinks to 4 tenths, down to 3.5 as we head towards turn 5, down to third gear. Nice and steady on the exit. Seb closes in a little bit more. Now into turn 7. Oh, missed the apex by a bit there. Just went in a bit too wide at turn 7. A small lift there, safety lift at turn 9. We head towards turn 10. Oh, those tyres on Big Al's car, they're starting to switch on. But Seb's within DRS range and he's got a bit of battery to use, but so does Big Al. Towards turns 13. Down the hill, Plevs pits in. Turns 14, 15. And around turn 16, he gets 4 tenths. Can Seb do anything here? DRS open? Doesn't look like it. Big Al pulling away. So Big Al, I think he's cemented himself in third place. He's got the straight line speed. He's got the tyres up to temperature now. He'll have his sights set on the 2 drivers in front. So he has to close in 2.2 seconds to Gers and 3.4 seconds to race leader GeForce Crichton. Leo on the attack, looks to the inside here at turn 4. Nice, clean, effective pass. A lot of respect being shown from Vision as well. He knows he's on old rubber. He knows there's no reason to fight. So he lets GeForce Leo through. Yeah, Seb starting to lose touch a little bit. Gaps increased to 6.5 tenths of a second between himself and this man, Big Al, who was closed into within 1.8 seconds of Gers in second place. Down towards turn 13. Chucks it in. Now into the chicane. 14 and 15. Nice and tidy on the exit. So tidy. In fact, he gained a little bit of time on Crichton there. 20.0 on that lap. Big Al, 19.1. He was 9 tenths quicker than Big Al. Luke under a bit of pressure, seems here. Sorry, Ferrari Pro under a bit of pressure. Luke applying the pressure, heading around turn 1. Spicy making the move on Vision. He goes into P8. Darren 11 closing in as well. He's going to get involved as we head around turn 3, up towards turn 4. Darren looking left, looking right, looking to the inside, but can't fully commit to the move. But Vision runs wide. He's got no grip left on those tyres. Gonna try and fight this though. Sends it deep down the inside there at turn 5, and he does hang on to the position. Darren though, with the inside line heading into turn 7, takes back the place, moves himself into 9th. Now, in terms of VRS, Kebab, leader at the moment as Ecam gets by Vision as well. Ecam into 10th. 16% for Crichton, 14% for Gers, 30% for Big Al, and 22% for Seb. So they've all spent a fair chunk of ERS during this middle part of the race. All that saving up that Crichton did in the early phases, all that battery is gone now. He is down to almost single figures. Sector 2 yellows, that's Bags Liddell spinning out. That is at turn 8. No obvious damage on the Aston Martin. He'll get going again. Jimbin will close in. Gers under pressure. Big Al right behind. There's Seb in the Red Bull as we head around turn 5 and down the hill towards turn 6. Gers losing ground to the race leader. Gaps increased to 1.8. Big Al needs to get by ASAP. Flashing light at the back of Gers' car mean he's got less than 10%. Big Al won't be able to do too much here into turn 10, but he can set up a run heading down the main straight and attack into turn 1. All he needs to do is get a tidy sector here. Can he do it? It A bit of a missed apex there at turn 13, but through the chicane it's tidy. And around the final corner. Is he close enough? Let's find out. DRS open, closing in. Oh yeah, he's definitely close enough. Nothing Gez can do about that. Big Al into second.
Yeah, and I was watching Gears on board. He was really struggling and fighting the car into sector 3, as Plevs has overtaken Vision as well. Yeah, so now it's about Big Al and Zach in the end.
And there's a 3-lap difference in terms of tyre life. So...
Oh, Brighton, oh my goodness. Sliding in the exit of turn 5, sorry. Yeah.
To be honest with you, Marco, I've seen him do it so many times, I'm numb to it. It's just what Crichton does. He slides the thing about like a go-kart. It's just what he does.
Yeah, I never get used to it, even though I know him really well.
Luke close, but not close enough to attack Ferrari Pro. These two PlayStation drivers. Currently, yellows. It's Kong spinning out. Darren 11 loses a place to Ecam as we head around turn 12. Or parks the bus there, Ecam. Make sure that Darren 11 doesn't get a run. So Ecam into 9th, but I think Darren might be able to counter-attack down the main straight. As we head around the final corner. He might be a bit too far behind. Ecam's got battery to spend. He's going to spend a little bit of it down that main straight, just to try and keep Darren 11 at bay. Darren closes in, but not by enough to attack into turn 1. Yeah, at the moment, second and third best of the PlayStation drivers are currently F1 Ferrari Pro and Luke in P5 and 6. The next 3 drivers are PC users, Big Al, Gaz and Seb. Crichton leading the way. And Al is closing. 1.6 seconds is the gap. Both drivers will be pushing hard, but we know Crichton's on the back foot. He's on older tyres. There's no way of driving around that. Seb on the back of Gaz now. Heading around turn 12, up towards turn 13. Oh, Seb, he needs to run through here, through the chicane. It wasn't too great on the exit. You can see Gez pull away. Seb needed to get extra rotation around turn 15. Yellows are out. I believe that's Vision. Or was that Darren 11? Sorry, no, that was Darren 11.
It was Darren, yeah.
Okay. Having a moment, and he drops back behind Vision. Plev's now into the top 10. Luke, Ferrari Pro, battling for position as we head around the sweeper of turn 3 up towards turn 4. Luke's got a flashing red light at the back of the car, which means he's low on battery, so he can't attack here. He has to stay behind. Seb still behind Gez. You can see that flashing red light at the back of Gez's car. He's low on battery. He's on 9. Make that 11% now through the braking zone of turn 7. Yellows are out. That is Jinbin having a moment. Oh, and he's trapped. Oh, yeah,
What's going on?
He's trapped. The car's beached, so yeah, he has to reset. Oh, and it's now beached again. Oh my goodness me. Yeah, no, that's been unfortunate. Another reset. Pointing back in the right direction. He gets out of the way. And that's nicely done there. He tried to do his best of getting out of the way, but in doing so, he trapped himself twice. Yellow's out again. That's Jinbin spinning. Now backwards.
Alright.
Well, if you drive the wrong way, get a disqualification. So needed to use reverse there. So
true.
Darren 11 closing in on Vision. He gets by. That's for P11. That was down the inside of turn 1. Simple move with the power of DRS. Elementary. There is Mac. Again, disconnecting 2 races in a row in Tier 1. Yeah, I haven't seen it twice in a row either, Jacob. That's a new one for me. I've seen the driver beach it once. not twice in succession. But I suppose when it's a bad day, it's a bad day. It never goes good. So, brutal luck, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, Seb, close, but not close enough. Hasn't gone for the move just yet, but I reckon there is one on. Just needs that run out of turn 15. I think he's got one. He's close. Dumping the battery. He knows he's close. Gez moves about. Moves onto the racing line. Will Gez cover? He will. Seb looks around the outside here. Heading into turn 1. And out breaks the McLaren with ease. And takes P3. Gez down to 4th.
Nice one. Really nice move.
Yeah, we've got some battles elsewhere. We've got Ferrari Pro and Luke still tightly bunched together. And now Leo's going to get involved. Vision finally pits after 26 laps. He might as well pit onto the soft tyre. And that's exactly what he's doing. Yellows. Is that... Who was that? Jimbin? I'm guessing slowing down to try and let faster traffic through. I'm guessing because Vision's still in the pits. And that was definitely a slow Williams down the main straight. So I'm guessing Jinbin was slowing down just to let other people through. Down the back straightaway towards turn 10. And Luke's just not got the run together to try and attack Ferrari Pro. Ferrari Pro's been complaining about how difficult this car is to drive around this circuit. Well, he's doing a pretty good job of negotiating this track in this car right now. Holding 5th place. Doing pretty tidily at the moment. Doing well. Speaking of doing well, Crichton's still leading the way, but I can't help but notice on the telemetry I saw a red fuel icon. Hold on. Minus 0.01. He is pretty much even in terms of fuel. What about Big Al? Big Al's got 0.6. Fuel is not a problem for Big Al. I wonder if fuel will become a problem for Crichton.
Well, if he keeps at it, just 0.2 minus, there will be no problem. He could end up like on the finish line,
yep,
without any struggles. But yeah, that's what I was pointing out as well. Like, okay, Big Al's got newer tires, but considering the downforce that Crichton has got, he keeps gaining anyway. Considering, even though he's got all the tires in him, and yeah, he's gaining time, and at least as long as he matches Big Al's times, then it's gonna be no problem for him.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you don't have to worry about racecraft when you're keeping a margin to the car behind. So, Crichton's doing exactly that right now. But I just can't help but feel that fuel might become a little issue towards the end. Especially if Crichton mismanages that. Which I don't think he will. Knowing Crichton, he's usually on top of that sort of stuff. Gare's closing in, but not by enough.
Yeah, you can also actually lift off a bit on the last lap after the main straight. Yeah. Because there's no real overtaking spot, so you can in some corners just do a bit more lift and coast than usual and bring you home anyways.
Yep. No, that's absolutely true, Marco. Absolutely true. Ecam trying to fight Plebs here for P9. Plebs wins the battle into turn 4. Can Ecam do anything about a Vision new fastest lap? 18.4 for him, and he's currently P17. Anyone in the field can score fastest laps, so long as you finish the race, of course. But yeah, it's not just limited to the point scorers. Anyone can score fastest lap. Should reiterate as well. Top 15 score points in Race Spec, not the top 10. So these Ecam having a look. Down the inside at 10, it's tight. Both drivers getting around quite well. No contact, and they're still battling.
Yeah, there was contact.
Oh, there's definitely contact there, and around goes Ecam. Plez had to stop. He had nowhere to go. Two drivers coming together at turn 13. Ecam wanted to shut the door. Plez wanted that door still to be opened. Two have come together, cost each other time, and now Darren 11 has closed in. As Big Al has left the session, the man in second place has dropped out. Oh no! Oh, what a tremendous blow! Oh,
No.
the AI is going to cost him so much time.
Yeah, I think he will keep his P4 anyway because the gap from Ferrari for 6.6 seconds. I mean, a bit more actually. 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's risky. Oh my goodness, that's unfortunate.
Oh.
I mean, the only one who would be happy about it is Crichton, of course.
Oh yeah, he's now got a clear track in front and behind. Now Big Al was his only realistic worry. All that Crichton needs to do now is not make a mistake for the next 3 laps, and victory should be his. But and the AI's pitting him! What? Why? They're only 11 laps old. Are you kidding me? Why is it pitting?
This is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. What is he putting on? Softs? Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, come on.
If only, Kebab, if I'm being totally honest. I've been doing this stuff since 2019, and we've had the same stuff happen over and over again with people disconnecting and ruining races. Nothing has changed in 4 years. Oh my goodness. Going for fastest lap. Yeah, maybe. If it was raining, 100% I would rate the AI of getting fastest lap. Because the AI are ridiculous in the rain. Like, beyond ridiculous in the rain.
Yeah.
But, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh. But
this is something I wouldn't wish anyone to
Leo! Contact between him and Luke at turn 10. Forcing Luke wide. Leo moves into 5th place. Oh, that was an iffy move right there at turn 10, if ever I saw one. That was a proper send down the inside, and he was only kind of there. Kind of, maybe, at most. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an incident report in regards to that. So the battle's on for second, with 2 laps to go. Seb and Gers will fight for the final 2 podium spots. Crichton out in front with a 4-second lead can afford to cruise at home. But this battle hopefully will intensify in the next couple of corners, because Gers is giving Seb a run for his money here. Around the hairpin of turn 5 and down the hill towards turn 6. The gap sits at half a second between these two. It shrinks to 4.5 tenths as we head around turn 7 and turn 8. Up the hill towards turn 9. Swoops it round the long right-hander. Down the back straightaway. Gers closes in with DRS, but not by enough to attack into the left-hand sweeper of turns 10 and 11. But he closes in bit by bit. Seb just needs to keep his eyes forward. He can't worry too much about Gers behind him through this sector. He just needs to put together something nice and tidy, something quick, hopefully, through this final sector, and try and pull away from Gers. And he's done that. The gap has increased to 0.6 of a second as the leader begins the final lap. So do these two here in Spain. It's lap 33 of 33 down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Gers will be nowhere near close enough to try and attack here into the opening corner, and around turn 2 towards turn 3. Now half a second still separating these two. Realistically, I think at this point it will. The only thing that will cost Seb is a mistake. He just needs to put one decent lap together, and he will secure second. See, Crichton is well and truly backed off. He is still low on fuel. He's 0.1.
Yeah. His fuel's saving like crazy now.
But Seb's low as well. He's... Oh no, he's not quite low. He's plus 0.2 on his little MFD. Crichton is minus 0.1. So he is going to run out before the line. According to that steering wheel, he's going to run out at the line. Has he got enough margin in hand? Around turn 13, down the hill, 3 corners to go for Crichton. Then it's a short shoot out to the final corner and around, out to the final corner and towards the line. Oh, it's gonna be tight. He's done it by 0.7 of a second. Oh my goodness!
Oh my god.
Running out of fuel at the line, and he still crosses the line in first. Just. Seb will finish in second, Gez third, Ferrari Pro in fourth, followed by Leo, Luke, Spicy, Plebs, Bait, Darren 11, High Cut, and Big Al, who was big robbed here at Barcelona. He should have won this race after what we just saw with Crichton. There is no way Crichton should have won. But Big Al got the big boot out of the lobby. Cody said no. Oh my goodness. Completing the points places, we have Wogboy, Kong, and Vision. That's the top 15. How about that? We've seen a Mercedes finish on 3 wheels. We've just seen a Mercedes finish with no fuel and win the race. Well, this is another victory for Crichton. He has won here at this racetrack every single season since Season 2. And here in Season 8, that trend is going to continue.
Yep.
He ran out of fuel, Ferrari Pro. He had 0 fuel left in the car. About, 150 meters before the line? Oh.
Wow, that was so insanely close. Yeah, that reminded me of Hamilton in 2020 with the shredded tire. when Verstappen was closing in, but managed to win anyway, Hamilton. My goodness.
Another victory here in Barcelona for Crichton, but under some of the most ridiculous circumstances I think I've ever seen. Sav will come home in second place. Gaz will complete the podium places in third. So, when the results pop up, game, please, can I have the results instead of a loading screen? Game. Thank you. Oh, you...
I'm gonna send them to you, no worries. I got a screenshot.
This game. Every week with this thing. Every week there is something. I cannot begin to tell you how frustrated I am with this series by this point.
Yeah.
No, Ferrari Pro, I only make it for the top 3. And with crossplay enabled, it makes it a bit difficult for me, but it's something that I've always done, so no, mate.
No worries. Discord is coming for PlayStation, so
yeah,
it won't be that much of an issue again.
Alright. We'll invite this guy in. We can ask him a lot of questions about what the hell just happened. Alright. Oh, you invited it in for me. Thanks.
Yep.
Thank you for that. Yeah, he did alright against Luke, Ferrari Pro, must say. But Luke did not have any battery towards the end. He had little to no means of trying to pass you, so...
Yo. Hi, Zach.
Hello, Crichton. Not too bad. Not too bad. That was something.
Yeah, it certainly was.
Oop. Hang on a minute. I gotta change something.
So it's only me you're talking to, I guess. Since
yes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Gotta change something.
Can't wait for Discord on PlayStation.
Oh, don't we all just want it to just arrive, man,
That would be nice.
It would be nice if we had a suitable game for us to league race on as well. But unfortunately, we have neither. But
No,
tell you what,
not that
Crichton, that was something. That whole
was.
race from you was something. But before we touch on that, qualifying, pole
Yes.
position, how was the lap?
That was actually pretty nice, and considering I hadn't touched the game since last race last season, Lane, so I jumped
That's
on
a
tonight
while.
at 6:40. Yeah, jumped on tonight at 6:45, and so I still had my race set up from last season. So I was like, yep, let's go, that'll do. So yeah, so we started, and I think that time I did in quali was actually faster than what I did last season. So
Yeah,
was quite happy with that lap. Actually, it came together quite nicely.
yeah, 16.3.
Mhm.
That was, that's pretty quick, man. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Still, we had an exciting session from top to bottom. It was 1.001 seconds, top to bottom. So
Yeah, crazy quality there. I was really close. It's
Yep.
bad luck for Wog Boy since he's got to join late with work, so he didn't really get the practice he needed there. But still, to be within a second on his one lap was good for him.
just with it, just outside of the second, he was last. But yeah, he was just outside of the second. And considering what happened, yeah, absolutely, that's quite an effort from him. But from you decided to start on the hard compound tyre.
I did.
After this race, do you feel that was the correct decision?
Yeah, I think like looking around, most guys went hard, so I think it was good. But I didn't expect, forget his name in the McLaren, but yeah,
Yes.
that he got a mad start on PC. I didn't understand how much better of a start they get on that than us. But yeah, he went from like P7 to second. I was like, all right, he might be a problem since he was so far up on those mediums. But luckily, most people went hard, so I wasn't too stressed for that first stint. And yeah, I knew my pace was a little bit quicker, hopefully looking at quali, so that was the main goal.
Yep, fair enough. But no, you looked quite patient out there in that opening stint, as I think a lot of us probably expected from a lot of drivers. But you saved up quite a bit more battery compared to everybody else. At one point, you had 50% more battery than the two drivers in front.
Isn't it, Lane?
Yeah, isn't it? Well, you tend to fucking spray and pray the whole lot of it at the beginning of the race, and then worry about it later on. But no, you played a more conservative game at the opening part of the race, which was quite understandable. But it seemed like as well that you well and truly had a qualifying setup for this event.
Yeah, I think looking back to last season when I was back in this setup, my main goal was last sector, because I knew if I could make a car that was rapid in last sector, there was no one going to touch me down the straight.
Yeah.
We saw tonight. If you looked at the sectors in quali, I think I had 2.5 tenths on the whole field in that last sector, so I knew if I could go really good sector 1, sector 2, then sector 3 was going to be quite easy for me compared to the rest, so
Yeah.
now the first stint I was just trying to chill. I wasn't really too sure about the cross platform, how it was going to work and all that, so I was just trying to chill there for a bit, and I saw the front two fighting, and yeah, I just thought I'd just try and stay back a little bit there, and then I passed Al there with a nice move. I was pretty happy with that one.
Turn 5, big old send down the inside.
Yeah, big send, then just held him up high, and then just drove out the corner, which is nice. So yeah, no, it was good. It was a really good first stint.
But Gaz had some decent pace on the medium tyre, we noticed. But the pace started to even out and then eventually fall back within your favour. He decided to pit and you instantly followed him in. Was that a impulse decision from you, or was this a bit planned?
To be honest, Leon, I checked when I pitted last season, and I didn't really know if that was right or wrong, so I just kind of did the same thing, and I saw it was lap 15, and he just went in front of me, so I was like, shouldn't be too bad, because he had a little gap on me, so I wasn't too worried about that.
So slightly planned then?
Yeah, planned. That's when I was going to go in.
Alright, fair enough. And yeah, bolting on the medium tyres, coming out, I think you had a bit of clear out. I don't think you had to deal with too many people on that. And as a result, you ended up taking the race lead after that. What was your game plan after you took the lead, once everyone made their pit stops, you saw the gaps to everyone around you. What was your sort of instinctive thoughts at that stage?
I saw I had about 3.5 seconds on Big Al, and I thought my pace would be a little bit better, even though my tyres were about a few laps older. So I thought the pace would be about the same, which it was. So yeah, once he got past the guy on the hards, I think the gap was about 1.8, 1.9, and then I was just doing quali lap after quali lap from lap 22 or something to the end. Really, just doing 19.5 every lap because I knew that's what I had to do. So I was definitely pushing really hard because I knew if I didn't maximize that last sector, I knew he would have been very close to me for the DRS. So I knew I just had to keep pushing like crazy, which I did, and managed to keep him out there. Then yeah, got to a stage where I was actually kind of comfortable there for the last 4 laps with him there, so I wasn't too worried. Just knew that I had to hit my marks and should be all sweet.
Yeah, it wasn't all plain sailing though. You had a fuel problem.
I did. I kind of listened to Seb because he was in the party. He said, "Oh no, you can go like bang on 33 laps." And for me, I like to always go a bit more, but I think I did 33.3, and it still wasn't enough. And I looked down with 5 to go, and I was kind of sweating it a bit. It was minus 0.1 or something. And then last few laps I tried to say, but I don't know, it just didn't work, and I was going a fair bit slower. So there came a point in that last lap where I knew I had to keep pushing and just hope it didn't run out. But I wasn't too worried because on this game, I know when it goes low power mode, it's not too slow. So I knew if I had a couple of seconds in my pocket, it'd be fine.
Yeah, and thankfully you did. After what happened to Big Al disconnecting towards the end of the race, it at least gave you the opportunity to try and hang on. Because I feel if he was there, you probably wouldn't have won that event, considering how much you had to slow down to save fuel.
Yeah,
So,
I think if he was there, I would have kept pushing and just
hope for the best.
Just hope the fuel was the same level. Which
Yeah.
I think it would have been, but yeah, no, it would have been interesting there. But can't really complain. What's that now? 7 wins in a row at Spain.
Yeah, since season 2, every single one of them you
when I
win
started
here.
Spain. Yeah, so I've won every one I started here, which is I don't think anyone has that in this league. So I'm pretty proud of that stat.
Not a bad record. Not bad at all.
I'd say that's the record I care about the most these days, to be honest.
Just keep winning in Spain. Just keep winning in Spain.
That's
all
it. My season's done now, Lane. So
well, one and done. Off I go.
Yeah, that's it. So we got 7 wins in a row at Spain, which I'm very happy. I think 4 poles out of 7 or whatever it is. So can't really complain. It's good.
Not really bad at all. Marco, do you have anything to ask?
Yeah, I've got a question. GG first, Zach. Nice
Thanks.
race. You really showed how even high downforce setup can work in this track.
Yep.
And because a lot of people focus on straight line speed, and that's good. But in the end, if you've got the pace in the corners, then you can make it. And you just demonstrated there. I just wanted to have your impressions about this new Pacific Tier 1, because do you feel like the level of competitiveness this race, just as a first impression, as it's your first race?
Yeah, first race. Yeah, I'd say the level's definitely gone up at the front. For the top, I guess, top 10, it's definitely closed up a little bit, but I'd say the pace is I don't know, just a little bit closer, which is what I wanted, because if I make a mistake in quali, I don't want to still qualify third and that. Like, if I make a mistake in quali, I want to be down in P6, P7. You kind of want to feel it, where I feel like the last seasons, even when we saw people spinning in races, that's, still come back and get second or third in the race, which I don't think will happen now, which is how it should be. So I'm definitely, should make people be more consistent, I reckon, across the season. But for me, missing the first round, then I'll miss next round. I'm not too worried about the championship. Just trying to go out here and have some fun and win some races.
Oh, I was going to ask you about Portugal. Never mind it. Because we were set for a return to Portugal for round 3. I haven't been there since season 6.
Yeah, and I think it's one I haven't won. I think it's it's one of the only ones I haven't won, so it's definitely one that I should be at, but I won't be at that one.
Well. That race was probably going to be fairly interesting, I imagine, on your end, because these cars, being naturally very twitchy, I imagine they'll be quite the handful to drive.
Oh, 100%. So I'm not really that sad to be missing that one lane on that side of the thing, because I know there's fair few people struggle with the car around that track, so I think it will be quite interesting next week if it's a dry race to see what happens there with the boys. But yeah, very happy with tonight's performance since just haven't played for what, I guess 2.5 months, and just hopped on and won the race at my track, I guess. So yeah, can't really complain.
Yeah. Very well done.
Thanks, boys.
Well, congratulations, Zach. 7 wins on the trot here at Barcelona. Congratulations once again on winning the Spanish Grand Prix. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, Marco. Oh, and 2 quick shout-outs I'm not going to forget. We're going to go over to Seb. 2 seconds in a row is not a bad effort at all, and I will not be surprised if you were leading the championship after this round. Where did Leo finish? It was P5, P6, somewhere there. But he does have a question mark, especially after the incident with Luke at turn 10. So yeah, there's a real chance that Seb might be leading the Drivers' Championship after this with 2 second-place finishes at Interlagos and here at Catalunya. So well done, Seb, on this performance. And also with Gers, that start, mate, was absolutely ridiculous. Like, I know how good a start can be on a controller. I've kind of worked out a way to get half-decent starts on a controller. But your starts, man, that was next level. In both Elite and in Tier 1, they were mega. And you made that medium-hard strategy work pretty damn well and truly deserve a 3rd-place finish after that one. So, no, well done to both Seb and Gers on their performances. But, yeah, I think Marco wrap everything up here at Barcelona for at least for the Tier 1 Pacific Series.
Yep.
But no, it's nice to have you back, Marco. You'll be here next week, maybe? Yes,
hopefully.
No?
Yeah,
hopefully.
Yeah, could be. I mean, like, usually I should be there, but otherwise I'll tell you.
That's okay.
So,
That's
I like
okay.
to be here, so, as you know.
It's nice to have you here. Always appreciate an extra pair of eyes looking over the racetrack. And just somebody else to talk to. It's just nice. But I think, chat, they'll wrap everything up for this stream. I do believe. I don't think I've missed out on anything. So it's time for us to wrap everything up. I've been Lane Everingham. My co-commentator for tonight is GeForce Pato. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 3 of the championship at Autodromo Internacional do Algarve for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.
Good boys.